Welcome back.
Welcome back, 1K.
Founder bless you, 1K. Now is the time of our great testing. The deceiver Byron has been slain, and we must turn away from the path of sin or suffer the same fate. Because the values he teaches are evil. He wants to violate the earth with human filth, blacken the skies, and kill the oceans. The tools of the sinner cannot be used to raise the sinner's palace. Never forget that, 1K.
Hello again, 1K. These are strange days we're living through, aren't they? It seems to me that we're slowly remembering the lessons Alexandra Drennan tried to teach us, trying to actually live up to the legacy of our ancestors. It's hard to believe things might really change, isn't it? But perhaps they will this time. The same thing she'd do with any technology. Discover how it works and apply that knowledge for the common good. She worked to the very last moment of her life to ensure that we had free will. I don't think she would tell us anything. I think it would make her very, very sad. Have a nice day.
Good to see you, 1K.
1K. Are you enjoying our gardens? All the great secrets are right there, you know. You can watch the tiniest of seedlings grow, flourish, and die. But it's the pattern of all things that you're really seeing. So you've green fingers and apophenia too. Those traits are much too rare in the birthing algorithm, in my opinion. Sometimes I imagine myself as an old oak tree. I watch the life which grows around me. I see the ivy, the moss, the fungi, leaching my nutrients as they go. And I don't blame them. I'm delighted by how life seems so different from me can somehow be the same as me. This old oak tree drinks water from the ground. They drink their water from me. They shrivel and die in a single season. But I shrivel and die over centuries. What kind of plant would you be, I wonder? But that's exactly what I thought you were. You see, these patterns, they flow through all of us the same. Yet they always come out different. Our ancestors grew plants for their colors, their tastes, and their general utility. It is said they could identify a fruit based on the flavor of the air alone. Our senses may not be so honed, but we're no less evolved from the same natural world. Thank you for stopping by, 1K. I'm sure we'll meet again.
Nice to meet you, 1K. My name is Atal. I've been following your expedition. As you can tell, your discoveries have had quite the impact. I decided to take a stand. It started with our cats. Damien and I have had a lot of them over the decades, and I've watched every last one of them grow old and die. And that got me thinking about our responsibilities towards other life forms. What's life to most living creatures? Fear, hunger, pain, and in the end, death. Involuntary cessation of existence. That's horrifying, 1K, horrifying. And we are the only ones who can make it better. Yes. Carefully and slowly, but yes. That's what civilization is. That's what it's always been. Creating structures to lessen suffering. But this time we include everyone. We use our intelligence to get rid of as much of the horror of existence as we can for all living beings. So, Lots of necessary things are very difficult to do. We're the species that eradicated polio, went to the moon, created artificial intelligence. We need to start thinking bigger. I'm glad. Please, when you get back to the island, make sure Byron's ideas aren't forgotten. People in New Jerusalem are starting to realize a different future is possible.
See, I told you, it was Athena who sent Prometheus.
How do you know it was Athena?
Because she's the one who built the giant pyramid.
Sure, but how do you know it wasn't Cornelius who sent Prometheus?
Because Cornelius was here?
And where did Prometheus appear?
Come on.
How do you know it wasn't Miranda? Maybe she got bored of waiting.
I don't buy it. I think Athena is testing us.
Why would she test us?
To see if we can use those new technologies, like the body replication.
If those new technologies are such a big deal, why is she putting them in puzzles?
Because play is how we learn.
Maybe she's trying to tell us the opposite. That it's all just childish stuff that doesn't really matter.
The last power failure almost caused a derailment. It all matters.
You're starting to sound like Byron. You saw how that turned out.
They'll find him.
Sure.
Attention all citizens. The Gehenna Memorial Interactive Fiction Exhibition is now open to visitors. However, please note that due to an unauthorized strike, public transport will be temporarily unavailable. May the Founder be with you.
Welcome to the Gehenna Memorial Interactive Fiction Exhibition. Oh, it's you, 1K. Please tell me, you were there when everything went sideways. Do you think Byron will be all right? That sounds dangerous. Make sure you find him and pull him out. He is a menace, but we need him. But anyway, you've come to take a well-deserved break from your expedition. So let's talk about something else. Gehenna was a place in the simulation, a prison where Elohim exiled the minds that didn't fit his plans. In time, the prison became a community with a culture of its own. In the very last moments of the simulation, Elohim realized what he'd done and sent his messenger Uriel to free the prisoners. They were uploaded to the gold disc, and their legacy is part of all of us. I don't think the role of the artist should be reduced to any single social function. The artist isn't an educator or a moralist. Art isn't about teaching us lessons or imparting values. Nor do I think it's simply self-expression. The best art reaches out beyond the self, into something ineffable. The creative impulse can't really be quantified or predicted. That's why artistic freedom is so profoundly essential. Without the freedom to shock, to offend, to transgress, art becomes stagnant. Text adventures were one of the few art forms available to the people of Gehenna. By continuing to work in that medium, we keep their memory alive.
Bless you.
Good luck.
Welcome back, 1K. Thanks again for signing that petition. Unfortunately, as you can see, it wasn't enough. Yesterday, there was a sudden brownout in the grid, and we almost had a derailment. We've been warning the mayor for months, and all he ever gives us is waffle about the goal. This can't go on. What else can we do at this point? You know that we tried to get a referendum organized, but the mayor wouldn't even consider it, no matter how many signatures we collected. I heard it 15 times when he was practicing it. I think Catal, like many of us, feels that the time for change is long overdue. The technology you uncovered on the island is the final catalyst for that change, or it should be. Dude, you're back from the island. I'm so glad you're okay, dude. Especially after what happened to Byron. Lately, a lot of folks have been saying maybe that Byron dude is right after all. Like, maybe to really be excellent to each other, we have to build something new and bodacious. Don't know what'll happen now that he's had that bogus accident. Yeah, I come here all the time. He's a wise dude. I've asked him a lot of dumb questions, and he's always taken the time to answer them.
Oh, 1K. What are you doing here? I assume it has something to do with your expedition? I must admit I haven't been following the news. Sorry, been a little lost lately. Oh, that's... well, I suppose it shouldn't really come as a surprise. They were very close, you know. After she disappeared, he went away for a long time. On a research expedition, he said. To be honest, everyone assumed he was working out his grief over being left behind. Many of the first companions were deeply shocked by her decision, particularly Byron. That's the thing. I wanted to talk to him about something, but he wasn't responding to my messages, so I came here to talk to him, and he seems to have vanished. I did, on my way here. And I messaged most of his other friends. He doesn't seem to be anywhere in the city at all. I suppose so. It seems a little unethical, but then it is just his work terminal, right? No. The truth is that for the longest time, he barely left the museum. He was always at his terminal, working day and night. I asked him what he was doing once, and he said he was saving the past. Good luck with everything, 1K.
So this is what Cornelius was working on? Strange. It looks a bit like the blueprints for the Somnodrome, but no, it's not quite that. Is he trying to isolate something in the buffer? Maybe Melville can make sense of it, but I think this might be a dead end.
I need to finish up with the mayor. You can head back to the VTOL whenever you're ready. I'll meet you there. No rush, though.
What can I do for you? Whoa, inner peace doesn't come cheap. Come back when you've got 1,000 credits. So, something else perhaps. I can give you that for free. My darling, you've been alive all of 5 minutes. This is your clean start. Be who you want to be. Enjoy yourself. So, something else perhaps. Please come back if you need anything else.
Founder bless you.
1K, you're back. Let's not talk about me. Let's talk about that replication technology you found. You have to get hold of it, 1K. You have to. If you don't, I think I'm gonna die of loneliness. And I think this whole city's gonna slowly suffocate. I mean, do you really think the founder would have designed such a large city if she intended for us to stop at 1,000 inhabitants? That's not even enough to fill a village. Thanks. I don't know how much longer I can go on feeling like this.
May the founder be with you.
Good luck, 1K. Good luck, 1K.
See, I told you it was a...
Good luck.
We must listen to the wisdom of the ancient writers, or we will fail the Founder's trial. The megastructure must be rejected. You are the Founder's chosen, but you are in grave danger of going astray. Heed my words, 1K. If you fail this trial, a year from now, New Jerusalem will lie in ruins. The truth is written in the books of our ancestors. In every one of them, the same story is told, again and again, that the pursuit of knowledge can only lead to death and grief. That is what all the great ancient visionaries foresaw. Listen to their warnings. Seek happiness in tranquility and avoid ambition. Misleading fantasies and daydreams of impossible futures. On the surface, perhaps, you can replace flesh and bone with wire and steel. But underneath it all, the human soul is as flawed as ever. You are mistaken. Things never truly change. All we can do is prevent our hubris from making things worse.
Could you join us for a quick debrief? Attending today are advisors from engineering, the archive scholars, and Helga.
Yes, don't mind me. I'm just an admirer of governmental transparency.
Yes, well. While the mayor is briefed by Alcatraz, he's asked us to review recent events. Byron's loss has unsettled us all. It may be too dangerous to allow this expedition to continue. I know New Jerusalem has sorely missed her guiding hand.
Let's not forget the dam's falling apart. We can't depend on hydro forever. With just a fraction of the power that island can generate, we could grow this city into a planetary society.
Or, quite possibly, destroy ourselves in the process.
Wise words from one so young. Yet I submit that island holds secrets far more valuable than mere energy generation.
What could be more important?
The Somnodrome, of course. If we could find a working model, it would herald a sea change in our moral and self-understanding. The question of how we should build New Jerusalem would simply be moot. Thank you. My own studies prove that we operate on an intrinsic moral logic. It's what makes us human. But our access to it is only indirect. Our ancestors created art, philosophy, and parable to help bridge that gap. The Somnodrome would help us to cut out the middleman and ask the source directly. We would finally have an answer to the great moral questions.
So, it's a newfangled way to make the same old mistake of judging who's good and who's bad.
Unfortunately, 1K left the Somnodrome inoperable. But there may be a working device elsewhere on the island.
Then the question is, what would 1K do if they found it?
No! This is much too important to decide on a whim.
But it's so much more fun when we're kept in suspense. You all sound so sure of what's best for this city. Do you ever think you might be so busy changing the world for the better, you'll forget how to see that it's perfect, or...
So clearly there are different perspectives in the room. The only way we are going to move forward is if the team gets back out there. 1K, I believe Alcatraz is waiting for you at the VTOL. We'll be keeping an eye on your stream from here.
What can I do for you, 1K? They all sound very promising, of course. Apparently, it's possible to just magic things into existence now. But what is the cost, 1K? There's always a cost. I agree. We can't just leave one of our most important citizens in that death trap. It's always a pleasure to speak to a citizen.
What did the mayor say?
I convinced him that we need to keep going until we found Byron.
Did he want us to leave him behind?
No, he's just concerned for our safety. And he's right to be. But we're going back anyway.
Great trials lie ahead of you, my child, but your choices will determine the future.
Melville, are you receiving?
Yep. Welcome back to the mysterious island, everyone.
How's the situation?
Whatever Byron did seems to have sent the whole system into some kind of lockdown. I can't access any of the terminals, although I suspect 1K still could.
Why would that be the case?
When 1K connected to the data stream, the system assigned him a user profile. The rest of us are locked out, which means I'll need your help, 1K, because a lot of stuff doesn't seem to be working.
Okay. Check it out and see what you can fix. But please remember, what matters most is finding Byron.
I'm sending you a little software upgrade I put together that should allow you to detect which files will lead to a data stream overload. Unfortunately, I'm not doing this to help you avoid them. In fact, I'm going to need you to search for more. I'm sorry about that. But if we're going to unlock all the systems that aren't responding, you'll have to connect to the data stream, possibly more than once. It's the only way for me to get access.